The first text arrived while I was loading the car with towels and sunscreen. My phone buzzed and I read it quickly. Can't wait for the beach house party tonight. Everyone's going to be there face-blowing a kiss. It was from my wife. I smiled faintly, assuming it was her usual excitement, but a tiny knot of unease twisted in my stomach. Something about the way she typed it felt different. Brushed off, maybe like a warning I didn't notice. We arrived just before sunset. The beach house was bustling, laughter spilling out of the sliding doors, music pulsing from inside. I hugged a few coworkers, smiled at friends, tried to settle into the scene. But I couldn't shake the feeling of being observed. Not just noticed, but scrutinized. The first jab came subtly, almost playfully. She leaned toward a group of our friends and whispered loud enough for me to hear. Remember when he thought he could surf? Yeah, that didn't last long. A laugh followed. Few polite chuckles. I forced a smile, tried to brush it off as a joke. But then the comments escalated. Someone asked about my new work project, and she interjected. Oh, don't ask him about that. He's always exaggerating. Remember last time? I froze. Conversation faltered. I shifted. The laughter grew, not cruel exactly, but humiliating in its casualness. My chest tightened. Was I imagining it? Am I overreacting? I told myself it must be nerves. Maybe she was joking. But as the evening wore on, the signs became impossible to ignore. She kept stepping away to take calls that lasted far too long. Her phone buzzed constantly, screen always down, notifications silenced. Excuses came too quickly. It's work. Just a friend checking in. Don't worry about it. Yet every time she laughed with that guy across the room, his hand brushing hers casually, it felt like a betrayal in slow motion. The knot in my stomach grew heavier. I questioned myself first. Maybe I'm insecure. Maybe I'm paranoid. But then came the evidence I couldn't ignore. Later, when she thought I wasn't looking, I glimpsed her phone screen on the counter. A text preview jumped out. Can't wait for later. See you soon, smirking face. It wasn't meant for me. I stepped back, heart pounding, feeling both sick and strangely detached. The rest of the evening blurred. She humiliated me once more, joking about my terrible beach volleyball skills, in front of everyone. I laughed along, but inside I was unraveling. Every memory of shared mornings, quiet talks, our first beach trip. It all felt rewritten. Back at the house later, I confronted her quietly, trying not to attract attention. Why? I asked, voice low. Why humiliate me in front of everyone? She avoided my eyes, biting her lip. I didn't mean it like that, she whispered. I guess I wanted to feel admired. Alive. I shook my head. You humiliated me, yes, but also yourself. And us. Her guilt was palpable, but it didn't erase the sting. I thought of all the little signs I'd ignored. The missed calls, the secretive messages, the quick excuses. All the moments that should have been warning signs now burned with clarity. In the days that followed, the apartment felt smaller. I noticed her favorite mug, the throw blanket we shared, the frames of our happiest memories, and realized trust had cracked in ways words couldn't repair. I replayed conversations, wondering which had been genuine, which had been laced with half-truths. The love I had felt still lingered, but it was intertwined with heartbreak, anger, and disbelief. The turning point came quietly. We sat across from each other, voices calm but heavy. I can't do this anymore, I said. I loved you, but I have to respect myself too. Her eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry. I truly am. I didn't argue. I didn't yell. I simply let the moment exist, letting the weight of our shared history settle around us. That night she packed her things. The goodbye wasn't dramatic, just a quiet closing of a chapter. Weeks later I found myself walking along the beach, the sound of waves soothing the raw edges of my heart. Memory still stung, yes, but there was also clarity. I had survived humiliation, betrayal, and heartbreak. I had reclaimed my dignity. Love isn't always enough to keep people together. Sometimes it's the bridge that teaches us how to walk alone. And as I watched the horizon glow with the first light of morning, I realized that even in heartbreak, there's a kind of quiet strength, one that no one can ever take away.